She had her whole life in front of her. 2 kids who needed her. A degree she was chasing. Music she was making. A future she was building with her bare hands. And on the one night of the year that's supposed to be about love, Valentine's Day, the man she had known since she was a little girl, the man she had married, the father of her children, called her phone and asked her to come meet him. She said yes. By 11:17 that night, she was lying in a parking lot, fighting for her life. And he was already gone. This is the story of Chassity Rose Sparkman, 26 years old, mother, student, artist, daughter, sister. And this is the story of how the person who was supposed to protect her became the one who took everything from her. Stay with me, because this one matters. And before we go any further, if you are new to this channel, welcome to Cases Decoded. Hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss an episode. If you have been riding with us, drop something in the comments. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me what you know. Tell me how this story is hitting you. And if this kind of content means something to you, tap that like button. It costs you nothing, but it helps this channel reach more people who need to hear these stories. Now let's get into it. Chassity Rose Sparkman came into this world in July of 1997, born and raised in Sacramento, California. And from day one, she was something else. Her family had a nickname for her. They called her a firecracker, not because she was difficult, not because she caused problems, but because she was the kind of person whose energy filled every single room she walked into. She was alive in a way that made other people feel more alive just by being near her. Vibrant, warm, impossible to ignore, and she was real. She did not pretend. She did not sugarcoat. If she felt something, she said it. If something was wrong, she named it. You always knew where you stood with Chassity, and for the people who loved her, that honesty was one of the things they treasured most about her. She grew up in a big household. Her father had many children, and somewhere in the middle of all that noise and movement and love, Chassity found her role. She became the glue, the one who made sure nobody felt left out, nobody felt forgotten. She was the peacemaker, the one who held everybody together. She carried that same love, that same instinct to protect the people around her, straight into motherhood. By the time this story reaches its worst moment, Chassity was raising 2 children on her own. Her son Zion was 8 years old. Her daughter Princella was 6. And every single choice she made, every sacrifice she pushed through, every hard day she got back up from, was for those 2 kids. She was also in school at Sacramento City College, working toward a future, building a music career on the side, holding down a job to keep her family afloat. 26 years old, doing it all, on her own. That was Chassity Sparkman. Now, to understand what happened to Chassity, you have to go all the way back to the beginning. Because the man at the center of this story was not a stranger. He was not someone she met once and trusted too quickly. He was someone she had known her entire life. His name was Isaiah James. And their story started in elementary school. They grew up together, went to Monterey Trail High School together. And by 2013, what had been a childhood friendship became something more. They made it official. They became a couple during their teenage years. From the outside, the pictures and videos they shared on social media told a beautiful story. A happy couple, a growing family. Isaiah looked like a present father, going on outings with the kids, showing up for the family, being involved. But the people closest to them knew the truth was more complicated than that. As early as January of 2017, Chassity was already speaking on it publicly. She posted on Facebook, and she kept it real the way she always did. She wrote, "I have to live with this irritating man. It's hard living together, but I got a baby with him, so I make it work. I love this boy. We go way back from elementary school and made it official in 2013. But I will be darned if I let love blind me with stupidity. He better get it together with his fine self. Even then, love and frustration living in the same breath. Commitment and doubt holding hands." Isaiah also had a history, run-ins with the law, and a child with another woman, a situation that brought its own mess. In December of 2017, That tension exploded publicly when Isaiah posted about losing weight and his other child's mother jumped in the comments, asking why he wasn't being fed at home. It turned into a full back and forth online. Jealousy out in the open, accusations flying, drama for the whole internet to watch. The other woman made it clear she felt like Isaiah was still emotionally tied to Chassity. Chassity, for her part, was done. She posted telling the woman to stay out of her relationship and mind her own business. But drama has a way of following people who are not done with each other. And Isaiah James was far from done. March 4, 2019. Chassity posted a photo of a meal she had cooked for Isaiah. The caption she wrote was simple and proud. "That's what a wife does." She was still in it, still committed, still trying to build something real with this man. And then Isaiah got locked up. Now here is where it gets complicated, because while he was behind bars, text messages surfaced that Chassity shared publicly. In those messages, she told him flat out, "Z, I don't want to be with you." Isaiah pushed back. He asked her why. And then he admitted something that said everything about who he was. He told her he wasn't happy with another woman he had been involved with, that he had been using her for money, and that what he really wanted was Chassity back. He was locked up. He was using another woman for resources, and he was still trying to hold on to Chassity. She posted those messages in March of 2019 for everyone to read, and then 6 months later she married him. On September 20th, 2019, with Isaiah still incarcerated, Chassity Rose Sparkman married Isaiah James and became his wife. Maybe she believed the official commitment would change things. Maybe she thought putting that ring on it would make him finally choose her fully, without the games, without the other women, without the lies. That love made her believe it was possible. But hope is not the same thing as safety, and love is not the same thing as protection. Now here is something nobody saw coming. Barely a month after the wedding, Chassity started a new relationship with another man. And his name was also Isaiah. His full name was Isaiah Frazier. He went by the nickname AZ Clicko. And like Isaiah James, he was also incarcerated at the time. On October 28, 2020, Chassity posted publicly, "You asked me to make it official on this day last year, AZ Clicko. And it's been great with you. I can't complain. Happy 1 year, babe." So now there were two Isaiahs in her life. Isaiah James, her husband, the father of her children, the man she had known since childhood, who went by the nickname Zay, and Isaiah Frazier, her new relationship, the man she was calling her babe publicly on social media, who went by AZ Clicko. Now the questions come fast and they don't stop. Were they in some kind of open arrangement that both men knew about? Did Chassity deliberately choose someone with the same first name? Was she lonely with her husband behind bars and looking for connection? And if loneliness was the reason, why choose another man who was also incarcerated? We may never have clean answers to all of that. But what we do know is this: while Isaiah James was sitting in a jail cell, calling Chassity on recorded phone lines and accusing her of abandoning him and moving on, she was on Facebook posting love letters to Isaiah Frazier for the whole world to read. On September 23, 2020, she wrote about Isaiah Frazier, "Realest I've ever met. How are you loving me like this? How are you still being the man you were before you went down? I ain't going to question it. Love you too." Could Isaiah James see those posts from behind bars? Did someone on the outside show them to him? Almost certainly the answer to that is yes. And that kind of public rejection, seeing the woman you still consider yours loving someone else openly, has a way of building something dark in certain kinds of men. The phone calls from jail between Isaiah James and Chassity were recorded. And what those recordings reveal is a man who was spiraling. He accused her constantly, said she was neglecting him, said she had moved on and left him behind. Back and forth they went. Chassity pushing back, Isaiah pressing harder. Meanwhile, Chassity was doing the opposite of hiding. She was posting about Isaiah Frazier openly. She visited him in prison and shared it publicly. She showed the portrait he drew of her on social media, completely lit up and in love with the gesture. She was done trying to hold things together with Isaiah James. She was focused on herself, her children, and her new relationship. And her posts started to reflect something deeper. a woman who had been through something painful and was slowly working her way back to herself. On August 3rd, 2022, she wrote, "I got betrayed while my heart was pure. I'll never forget that." That same day, she reposted something that read, "When a toxic person can no longer control you, they will try to control how others see you. The misinformation will feel unfair, but stay above it, trusting that other people will eventually see the truth just like you did." She knew what she was talking about. She had lived it. A few months later, in November of 2022, she wrote this, "I will never think a female is too delusional again. These men are very sneaky in their art of cheating. Just sit back and observe, because a female is not ever that delusional unless she's actually not okay." Read that again. She was not guessing. She was not talking about someone else. She was speaking from the inside of something she had personally survived. She also posted about the struggle of deciding whether to let her children visit their father in jail. She wrote that she had gone nearly 5 months without taking them. She wasn't cold about it. She was honest. She said she did not like seeing him in that place, and she knew he would use the visit to try to get close to her. But here is the thing, she had no problem visiting Isaiah Frazier in prison. She showed up for him. She posted about it. The difference between the two relationships was clear. Isaiah James eventually got out, and the version of him that walked out of that jail was not a man who had made peace with losing Chassity. He was a man who had spent months in a cell, watching her live her life without him, building resentment quietly. By the time he was free, he had a new girlfriend, a 25-year-old woman named Iona Burgos. But having someone new did not mean he had let Chassity go. And that is one of the most dangerous things about certain kinds of people. They move on in body but not in their mind. They find someone new, but they cannot stop watching the person they lost. Cannot stop feeling like that person belongs to them. February 14th, 2024. The day started the way Valentine's Day starts for a lot of single mothers, ordinary. Kids to take care of. Life to manage. No big romantic plans. At some point that evening, Isaiah James called Chassity. He asked her to meet him at Lake Crest Village Shopping Center in the Pocket neighborhood of Sacramento. We do not know exactly what he told her. We do not know what reason he gave. Maybe it was about the kids. Maybe it was about something practical. Maybe he said something that made it seem safe, routine, nothing to worry about. She agreed to go. Around 11:17 that night, Chassity pulled into the shopping center parking lot. Isaiah was already there, and he was not alone. He had brought Iona Burgos with him. What happened next in that parking lot, what words were said, whether there was an argument, whether Chassity had any idea what was coming, is not fully known. What is known is this. Isaiah James pulled out a weapon and shot Chassity Sparkman, the man who had known her since they were children, the man she had married, the father of her son and her daughter. He shot her and left her in that parking lot. Then he and Iona got in a car and drove away. When police and paramedics arrived, Chassity was still holding on. They rushed her to the hospital. The medical team worked on her. But it was not enough. Chassity Rose Sparkman was pronounced dead not long after she arrived. She was 26 years old. Her children were at home waiting for their mother to come back. The news spread fast. And what followed in Sacramento was the kind of grief that does not stay quiet. It pours out into the streets, into community centers, into social media, into the hearts of people who never even met her but felt like they knew her. Her father, Alonso Sparkman, stood before cameras days later. He was a man who had known loss before. He had buried siblings, parents, cousins. But he said this was different. It hits different when it's your child. I don't have that kid blowing my phone up all day, every day no more. The father of 20 children. And he said losing this one, losing Chassity, sat in a place inside him that nothing else had ever reached. Her sisters remembered her the way everyone who loved her did. They talked about how she never left a room without saying she loved you. Even after a fight, even after things got hard, she would always reach back. She was a firecracker. She loved everyone. If you know my sister, you know she could argue with you one day and call you the next and say, "I don't care about you being mad. Girl, what you doing?" On February 21st, 2024, Exactly 1 week after Chassity was killed, more than 100 people gathered at Lake Crest Village Shopping Center. They brought pink balloons. They brought flowers. They brought single roses. And they stood in the same parking lot where she had taken her last breath, and they called her name out loud. Justice for Chassity. Justice for Chassity.
Justice for who?
Chassity Sparkman!
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 You okay?
We love you, Chassity!
We love you more! We love you, Chassity!
At that same vigil, the Sacramento Police Department confirmed they were still actively investigating. No arrests had been made, but the family already had a name, and Chassity's father was not waiting quietly. He went on Facebook and posted publicly, directly naming Isaiah James and Iona Burgos. He wrote, "They took a part of me away from me and my grandchildren. These people hurt my baby and think they are going to get away with it. But I can't let this happen. Everybody respect my wishes and repost this." The post spread, and someone who shared it added a line that made people stop scrolling. They wrote, "His other baby mama is gone too." One sentence, and it raised questions that nobody had clean answers to. Was it true? Was Isaiah James connected to whatever had happened to his other child's mother? Was this a pattern and not just a single terrible night? Those questions hung in the air. The family set up a GoFundMe for Zion and Princella. The community showed up, and investigators kept working. The Sacramento Police Department did not stop. Through relentless detective work and a collaboration with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, both suspects were tracked across state lines. Isaiah James and Iona Burgos were found and taken into custody in New York City. Both were held and faced extradition back to Sacramento to answer for what happened in that parking lot on Valentine's Day. Questions still surround Iona's role in all of this. Did she know what Isaiah was planning when they drove to that shopping center that night? Was she fully part of it? Or was there something she did not know until the moment it happened? Those answers will come out in court in front of a judge with everything on the table. But they were caught. Chassity's father said it best when he talked about what that moment would mean to him. "Soon as they get apprehended, I will feel a lot better. Once I know they are in custody, I can breathe." On March 12, 2024, Chassity Rose Sparkman's homegoing service was held at St. Paul Church in Sacramento. The people who loved her came to say goodbye the only way they knew how, with tears, with stories, with music, with her name said over and over like a prayer. Her children, Zion and Princella, are now in the care of their aunt, exactly as Chassity had requested. She had thought about that. Even in the middle of everything she was carrying, she had made sure her babies would be looked after. That is who she was. Even when life was hard, even when things were messy, she was always thinking about her kids. As Valentine's Day came around again, nearly 2 years later, in February of 2026, her sister Naina sat down and wrote something that stopped a lot of people cold. She wrote, "This Valentine's Day, on my sister's passing, I am asking family and friends to bring a single rose and place it at the spot where she lost her life. I am choosing roses instead of balloons because Valentine's Day is about love, and her middle name is Rose. Each rose will represent the roses she should have gotten that day. Please remember her children still miss her dearly. They need to know she will never be forgotten. Her middle name was Rose. She never got her roses." The last thing Chassity ever posted publicly, 3 days before she was killed on February 11, 2024, was this: "Getting ghetto is fun sometimes, but the true peace is being surrounded by positive, classy women. I prefer the ones that's older that can teach me something." She was talking about peace, about growth, about becoming more, about surrounding herself with the right kind of energy. She was 26 years old. She was just getting started, and she deserved every single year she did not get. Chassity Sparkman deserved to raise her children and watch them grow up. She deserved to finish her degree, release her music, and live into the woman she was clearly on her way to becoming. She deserved her roses. This story is a reminder that the most dangerous person in someone's life is not always a stranger. Sometimes it is the person who has known you the longest. The one who smiles in your children's photos. The one you believed in even when you probably should have walked away sooner. If something in this story sounds familiar, if you recognize the patterns, the control, the public humiliation, the possessiveness, please reach out for help. The National Domestic Violence Hotline is available around the clock. The number is 1-800-799-SAFE. Zion and Princella are still out here, still growing, still carrying their mother's name. And Chassity Rose Sparkman will not be forgotten. Not on this channel, not in Sacramento, and not by anyone who hears her story. If this episode hit you, please tap that like button right now. Takes 1 second and it means everything for helping this channel grow. Leave a comment below. I want to know your thoughts on this case, what stood out to you, what made you feel something. And if you are not subscribed yet, do it now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss a story like this one. This is Cases Decoded. I will see you in the next one. All information in this video is drawn from publicly available sources including news reports, family statements, social media posts, and public records. This content is produced for documentary and informational purposes only.